Hello, children. I'm your new governess, Mr. TrekTrav. That's too formal. Little shit and Mrs. Little Shit, I'm your boss now.
Born in darkness, fated child, Elizabeth's curse, a journey wild, witch's blood, a family's plight, Salem's fire, relentless fight.
Welcome to Star Trek Voyager Season 1, Episode 16, and this is Learning Curve.
Yeah, it's a season finale.
Yay, we got there. High five.
It's also 30 years since Voyager started.
We ended when they begun 30 years in the future. I don't know if that makes sense. But this did not feel like a season finale at all. Like, that was my main thought.
I was just thinking about the fact that it's set in the future and it was made 30 years ago, and now we're in the future, but not as close as the
smoked
future.
too much weed this weekend.
What?
So, I actually liked this episode. I think it was good. But it wasn't for... Go back and watch the episode. Basically, there's some marquee crew members who aren't doing their thing.
Yeah.
And of the four, there is one who you may have already met. In Star Trek Elite Force, there is a blue, I think it's Bolian,
Oh, yeah.
and that's Chell.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
also Chell. They're both
Chell.
Yeah, both Chell. And
Chell's
funnily enough,
all the same Chell.
well, this very much feels like a sort of Elite Force kind of thing. He's training them, he's teaching them how to do things. But
Elite Force was made after the show finished.
no, the first one was made during, and the last one.
Oh.
Uh,
I
so,
only played Elite Force 2, sorry.
anyways, so Tuvok is teaching them how to be good Starfleet officers. Meanwhile, the gel packs are going crazy. Now, the bit that I liked about this episode was the gel pack.
Yeah?
Because they were exploring like how the ship works and stuff like that, how the bioneural circuitry is like cells and stuff. It's not machinery.
I thought you would have liked it because all of these problems were caused by Neelix.
That was also true. I did enjoy that part a lot. But he's sort of like, oh. He's sort of guilty, and then they say, don't be guilty, and then he's like, yeah.
Talking about Neelix. Here's Neelix.
In our last Voyager review, we heard a meow. This is what came from that meow.
And because it was an episode about Neelix, his name is Neelix. Neelix.
So overall, I think Tuvok was really good in this episode. It was fun seeing him train things. I hands down though would have been 10K run. I'm sorry, I'm in the brig for 7 years now.
Yeah, I'll take my chops with Chakotay giving me a punch every morning.
Yeah, no, just punch me. I am not running. But it was... it did the weird opening thing again of Janeway being Miss Davenport.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And then the two kids that pop up at the beginning are fucking David Carson.
Editing, and it's Thomas Dekker, who did play Picard's son in Generations, but he was also in Star Trek Picard Season 3 as a changeling, and he was also in a bunch of other stuff, but he definitely was in Generations before.
Overall, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I think the Doctor was funny in this when he was talking to the binaural secretary like it was an actual patient. I actually thought that was really funny.
I don't know if he was like pulling something over
No,
them, or he was trying to be funny, or
he was trying to be funny. And I very much think that this is the start of him trying to be funny, because that was really well delivered.
Yeah, it just took him all of season 1.
Yeah, all of season. Although he had some moments, but they were more about him just being rude.
Snarky.
This was him being funny.
Yeah.
So we have Crimin Darby, bit of an a-hole.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
For some reason, the woman can't wear a hairband, although Ro wore a hairband. So I'm
Yeah,
confused
talking about Ro as well, she also had the earring.
She did get told to not have the earring, but I think Picard lit her.
Well, it's a cultural thing. Like, that's the thing about it. It's like, I'm sitting there going, hang on a second, Starfleet's pretty culturally okay with Worf wearing a fucking stash all the time.
Yeah.
It's like to a different fucking...
It is quite weird, because even
like, fuck. What is up with that?
But in lower decks, you've got crew members with a hijab on. You've got like different religions and types of people in there. So, or cultures. So it seems really weird for Voyager, because Deep Space Nine, Kira wore an earring. the whole way through. She wasn't Starfleet, but when she was Starfleet, she was Starfleet.
Yeah.
And Ro, it seemed a little bit weird that was all happening.
I swear I've seen other Bajoran Starfleet officers wearing the earrings still.
I think that's more of an understanding of depictions of culture. Because Star Trek around TNG was about everyone in humanity has come together. There's no real religion element. Everyone's just sort of...
Except for Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine shifted that. Voyager sort of played that a little bit. I don't know. Yes, Neelix being the culprit makes complete sense to me. I liked them touching on the Maquis thing again, but once again, it was just like, oh, these three Maquis are doing what we're doing, slap them on the wrist. I did like Chakotay hitting Darby, though.
Yeah, he sucker punched him pretty hard.
Where's this Chakotay been for the last 16 episodes? The Chakotay who will punch someone in the face to make a point. Like, he was forceful in that. And, like, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's so passive through most of the series. And in this, he's like, punches him in the face. It's like, if you want to play by Maquis rules, well, fuck it. Like, stand it up, bitch. Don't. And nowhere else in the series.
I don't know.
But,
hard one.
I think, learning curve wasn't anything like a season finale that I'm used to. There was no ending. It was just sort of the way it was. We found out they had 34 binaural gel packs.
Oh, shit. We have to get another count.
I think by the end they had 32. I think they haven't used torpedoes since the last time.
No, they only used one, so I think they've still got like 36.
Yeah, they've still got a lot. But yes, overall, what did you think of season 1?
Season 1, it follows the TNG like playbook of season 1 being just terrible. I can only think of like maybe 2 or 3 episodes that I really liked. There's the Neelix one. There's the I think it's the second episode where they go to another world that's like a time sequence or something like that.
I think it's very obvious by the end of this season that they're not living up to the mandate they had at the beginning. Yeah. Like, we're lost in deep space with new and strange aliens with different cultures. We're going to find it hard. And then by the end of the series, you had 3 or 4 instances of them going, we might run out. And
no, it wasn't even 3 or 4. It's like 1 episode. It's only mentioned in 1 episode. There's Caretaker, and then there's that other episode that is a thing.
And this one.
No, this one is not even
the gel packs they're talking about running out.
Yeah, but they're not really talking about the fact that they're running out of resources in general. It's just been like, oh, we're going to protect the gel packs. Well, it's a very special
even in this episode when the gel pack breaks, just, well, the replicators are down and stuff like that. It's like, what? Like, the replicators are just working now. But I do...
Yeah.
I like every character I like. I think certain characters are obviously lackluster by the end of the season. Like, Chakotay is clearly one of those.
Well, that's like the other thing about the Maquis. Like, they could have had so many opportunities of stringing these Maquis stories together. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And done a better job with stringing them together.
Well,
because like, there's a few Maquis stories scattered.
The only one that really sticks from the first season is Seska.
Yeah.
Everything else sort of disappears.
Like, you could have had... Like, this episode could have been shifted more to the beginning,
closer to the Seska. Yeah. I think
had Seska in it, and then you could have done some other things with it. But it's like you could have shown Seska slowly building trust and stuff like that, and then it could have been a massive season finale that Seska's betraying them all, and it's like they just put all this effort into training.
So the reason they don't do that is because Star Trek at the time, which is funny because Voyager wasn't syndicated, which is where they sell to different networks. Voyager was launching...
Yeah, they were sending it to syndicate.
Yeah, but Voyager was launching the UPN network, which became the CW.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing, but for some reason they went back to the episodic format. And it shows in this, like watching Deep Space Nine at the same time, this is very much like... You don't need to watch any episode to get any other episode.
No.
Maybe a Seska one. But generally, if you know they're lost in a strange area of space...
You can watch it in any order. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it does not matter what order you watch this. Besides watching Caretaker at the beginning, the first 2 episodes, otherwise you can do it in any order you want.
I do think Janeway is a standout for the season. I think, captain-wise... Janeway is brilliant. Like even
honestly, now I'm thinking about it, thinking about the order of the episodes, I think there is a correct order, and I think the order they gave us isn't the correct order.
No, they pretty much with Star Trek were filming week to week.
Yeah, but
they might have organised them differently when they were writing them, but
no, it feels that way. It feels like that they're out of order, like they're out of sequence.
Well, someone would have selected it, and there would have been budget, and obviously it's a shorter season, so they're trying to sort of rush everything in.
Cramming.
Because the TNG had just ended, the Generations was just being filmed, and then this was coming out, and they had the delay with Renee Auberjonois. No, not Renee Auberjonois.
Why would Auto be there?
Auto. Anyway, Genevieve Bujold, that was it, with her disappearing, so they were delayed for like 2 weeks. So I think that it had a lot, one of the things with Voyager's first season, they had a lot going for it, and it had a lot going against it, and it feels like this is very middle ground. Yeah,
it's a Star Trek season 1.
Did you have any standout characters for this season?
Neelix. No, that one episode of Neelix, like seriously, the last episode.
Oh, not where he lost his lungs and didn't talk the whole thing.
No. The last episode where he's just riffing and basically describing, like the atrocities and stuff like that. That's probably the best episode of the entire season.
That was last week's episode.
And you know what's great about that episode? They're just in the ship. They're just like wandering around the ship. It's nothing special. There's no planet. There's no special effects really. It's just them talking.
See, that was the same thing about this episode, right? That Tuvok's trying to train through, he's trying to connect with them, he's trying to be friendly, and then it ends with them getting locked in a fucking, essentially an elevator situation where they're all together. And as soon as they get locked in that room, you're like, okay, one of them's going to get in trouble, Tuvok's going to save them, he's going to earn the respect of the others. Like, but that happened with a lot of this season, which is, it would reach a point in the episode where I'm like, I already know what's going to happen. I've watched enough Star Trek and TV in general to know what's going to happen.
Well, it's not even Star Trek exclusive because it uses a lot of tropes. Particularly in the season 1, it used a lot of tropes. They're just like TV tropes. Like they're just standard TV tropes.
But that might be because it's now 30 years later.
Yeah,
and we're like, we know these tropes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Tuvok, I think Tim Russ playing Tuvok, I will argue this. So Spock is brilliant, right? He's built the mold. He's not full Vulcan. So he shows emotion. He's a little bit more thing like that. Tim Russ manages to not show emotion while showing emotion. And that's what I love about him. I don't think there's been a bad Vulcan actor. Period. I think Jolene Blalock played Herbert T'Pol really well.
Yeah.
I think Tim Russ is the best depiction of a Vulcan in Star Trek.
I think he's the most accurate to what a Vulcan should be. But I don't know if he's better than Spock. Sorry.
Even when he initiates...
Like Ethan Peck Spock.
He's not hotter. Although in this episode, you get some moose knuckle. And Tim Russ clearly has the biggest moose knuckle. But out of the ones in that outfit, biggest moose knuckle. One of them is a woman. But yeah,
she had the second biggest.
But I really... I think the one thing that shines through in this season isn't actually the stories. It's certain actors. I think the only thing that would have kept me watching in the 90s, and what was this, 95?
Yeah.
Where I was 10 and you were 2.
No.
How old were you?
4? 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I wasn't watching Voyager, we'll say that.
Yeah, no, I was 4 or 5.
I remember watching episodes intermittently throughout the time. I was very young.
Yeah, I was busy watching Blinky Bill.
That was a good show too. But very much the science stuff interested me more than the character stuff. So I know, even now, watching this episode with the binaural gel packs, why are you grinning?
Grinning.
Weirdo. Even this one with the binaural gel packs, and like when they bring up the engines and they're like revving the engine, very car motif.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm going, this is what I like about Star Trek. Like, and Voyager does it less than the other shows, but I like that sort of, let's explain what this does to the ship or how this piece of technology works. And I love that.
Yeah, it is. Overall, it's a good season.
It's
not the worst.
an okay.
I mean, it's all right. Like, overrated as fuck.
Season.
It's good. Nothing
But
excellent.
definitely the standout is the ship, which I like because it's essentially the D, just with some slight redesigns to look cooler. The internals of the Voyager are far better than the internals of the Enterprise D. I'll always say that. I don't think the bridge is better, but I'm talking like the corridors and stuff like that.
I think uniformity and stuff like that. Yeah.
I also
100%.
like the uniforms better.
Yeah,
I
they're
like
much
these
nicer
uniforms. I know that they're just the Deep Space Nine uniforms from the first season, but that top color always looks better than fucking the grey.
Yeah. No, that's 100% the nicest. It's the nicest uniform.
I think this whole show just has
it's nice aesthetically.
Yeah. And I think bringing in a female captain definitely adds to the thing. I think
Captain Janeway's my.
I think B'Elanna is hands down. She's still one of my favorites. She'll always be one of my favorites.
I think
the women characters in the show are my favorite.
I think she might be the best engineer, like head engineer.
Well, she always seems like she's like task focused.
Yeah.
So we're on to season 2 now, which I don't remember much of either.
How long was there break between the seasons?
Usually about 3 months.
Oh, okay, well, we'll see you in 3 months.
Yeah, no, so unlike now where it's like a fucking 9 months, actually more, it'd be 9.5 months. You only went for 3 months, but at the end of every season there was usually, not this time, a cliffhanger. So you'd be fucking pissed because there was a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Whereas they clearly knew with Voyager, we're going to go for a few years.
Yeah, we're not worried.
We don't really care.
Yeah.
But yeah, any final thoughts?
No, it's a good season.
Congratulations, Voyager, on 30 years. You just make me feel old every time.
Yeah. I would have been 3 years old.
Yes, I would have been 10 years old.
Jesus.
I am old. Anyways,
3 years
thanks
old.
very much. I have been TrekTrav. This has been Ribbit. I hope I didn't scare you too much with the wig and the makeup at the beginning. Have a good 2025.